Hello students, welcome to today's session. In today's session we are going to continue with process synchronization concept. Now in this session we are going to discuss an important topic called as Peterson's algorithm. So what is that algorithm? So when it is going to use, how to solve this solution of what is the solution of Peterson's algorithm, that we are going to discuss in this session. Now, so we have a concept called as critical section. So that we have discussed in the previous session also. What is critical section is? Critical section is simply it simply means if any process wants to execute some set of statements. Okay, if a process wants to execute some set of statements, when it is executing these set of statements, other process, that is other processes, cannot use that resource or cannot use that particular uh, cannot be in that particular state of critical section. So that is called as critical section. So in that, what does that mean is, say for example you have a keyboard. Okay, so you have keyboard, and this keyboard, you are, by using this keyboard, you are typing something on MS Word or MS Excel. You have opened two process. So if you want to just say I have a process 1, and this process 1 is MS Word, and I have process 2. This process is, say it is MS Excel. Okay, so we have these two process, one is Excel and the other one is MS Word, and I have a single keyboard. So I have a single keyboard. Okay, so when you have a single keyboard and this process 1, that is MS Word, wants to use keyboard, and process 2, that is MS Excel, also wants to use the keyboard. When both the process wants to use the keyboard, this device or this resource can be used only by any one of this process. Either it can be used by process 1 or it can be used by process 2, but both the devices or both the process cannot use the keyboard at the same time. So this usage will have some set of statements, or we are going to write the program, or we'll have some set of code which will be used for accessing keyboard. Now when process 1 is executing these statements that will be using keyboard, process 2 cannot execute the statements which will be using keyboard. Okay, just understand something like, if you have a, you can also consider your camera app. Okay, you have your camera app on your Android phones. When you're using that particular app, this app can access any one camera, either the rear camera it can access, or it can access the front camera, but it cannot access both at the same time. It cannot access I mean, say, in some softwares we can access both, but usually what we'll do, either it can access the rear camera or it will be accessing the front camera, but usually it will be not accessing both the camera at the same time. So something like this, that is, when you have a resource and this resource should be shared between process 1 and process 2. Process 1 should also use the resource and process 2 should also use the resource, but it cannot use at the same time. Okay, so to implement this concept, we'll be using one of the solution called as Peterson's algorithm. Okay, so this solution is based on critical section problem. So based on critical section problem, we'll be providing solution for solution using Peterson's algorithm. So it does not work on the modern architecture. So whatever architecture you're using now, there you are not going to use Peterson solutions, because it was used where we got only one CPU, or the processors with only one CPU that we have discussed. A processor can have more than one CPU. We'll consider it as dual core, quad core, and we have octa core. All those things is nothing but a single processor can have multiple CPUs, which is nothing but dual core, quad core, octa core, and hexa core. Now here, so this solution was used only when we used to have a processor with single CPU. Now this fourth point is, it is for two processes. We are in this example we are going to discuss only for two processes. If you have two processes or two programs under execution, any one process can enter into the critical section. So how to make that happen, that we are going to see with the example. Now say I have process 1 and process 2. There are two processes in the computer currently executing. So these two processes will be sharing some variables like this, which is integer, turn, and boolean, one array called as flag. Okay, so what does that mean is, so if I simply represent something like, if you have a variable called as flag, I have a variable called as flag. This flag variable is a boolean data type. Okay, it is a boolean data type variable which is of size 2. So that is nothing but this variable flag will have flag of 0 and flag of 1. Okay, so we have flag of 0 and flag of 1. So flag of 0 will be representing process 1, flag of 1 will be representing process 2. Okay, we have two processes, process 1 and process 2. Now if process 1 wants to enter into critical section, if a process 1 wants to enter into critical section, what it must do is, as we discussed, we'll have two pointers. One is integer turn pointer and one more pointer is boolean flag variable. Now this flag array will be representing number of processes. If you have n number of processes, then this value instead of 2 it will be n. Okay, so since I am taking the example of two processes, so I'll be considering the flag array will be having the size as 2. Now if process 1 wants to enter into critical section, now what it does, what it does is, this flag value, that is flag of 0, since it is storing what kind of value, it is storing boolean value, we are going to make it as true. Okay, and at the beginning both the elements of this flag will be by default false. Okay, that is flag of 0 will be false, flag of 1 will be false. If process 1 wants to enter into critical section, we are going to make that as true. So once we made that as true, we are going to consider the variable called as turn. Turn will be set to 0. So what does that mean? This turn is going to indicate, say for example, this variable is turn. What it is going to indicate? It is going to indicate the process who enters into critical section. Which process can enter into critical section, that will be represented by turn. Okay, so and flag array will be representing whether the process is ready to enter into critical section or not. Okay, so if 0 want to execute, it will be set to flag 0 will be set to true. If process 2 wants to execute, then flag 1 will be set to true. Okay, so you can see here, if process 2 wants to enter into critical section, then flag 1 will be set to true. Okay, now here in this example we will consider, I want process 1 want to enter into critical section, so flag 0 will be set to true, turn will be set to 1. So when this is the case, if flag of 0 equals to true and turn is set to j is nothing but that particular index value which is 0, we are going to check whether the other processes, that is flag of 1 and turn is equals to 1, if that is true, it will enter into wait state. If it is not in the wait state, it will enter into critical section. Okay, so if I want to write the algorithm, so algorithm will be something like this. We'll have the first do condition. In do condition, or you can just write with the while statement. So the algorithm for the process 1, if process 1 wants to enter into critical section, just I'll just write something like this. So if process 1 wants to enter into critical section, okay, if process 1 wants to enter into critical section, as we discussed, flag of 0, that is flag array of 0 will be set to true. Okay, after this turn will be set to process 1, which is 0. Okay, now after this, once this is done, next we are going to enter into the algorithm or the condition where we are going to check for the other statements. So when process 1 wants to enter into a critical section, it should check whether other processes in the critical section or not. For that, other process will be represented by what? It will be represented by process, that is flag 1. We are going to check whether it is true, and we are also going to check whether turn value is given as, or it has been initialized to 1. So in that case, if that is true, then we are going to enter into wait state. Okay, the process 1 will be going to which state? It will go to wait state when flag 1 is set to true and turn is set to 1. If that is not the case, it will enter into critical section. Process 1 will enter into critical section, that is its set of statements. So after that, at the end of that process 1's execution, we are going to set flag of 0 to false, so that other process can enter into say critical section. If process 2 wants to enter into critical section, then what we should do? We should first initialize, that is flag of 1 equal to true, and turn should be set to 1 because index is 1 here, so we are going to set that index here, so turn will be 1. Now again, when it wants to enter into critical section, what we are going to check? We are going to check whether flag of 0 is in the critical section or not, and whether turn is set to 0 or not, that we are going to check. If that is true, then we'll enter into wait section, or process 2 will go to which state? Process 2 will enter into wait state. If that is not true, it is going to execute the critical section. Okay, at last we are going to set flag 1 equal to flag of 1 equal to false after execution of critical section. Okay, so this is our algorithm about Peterson solution. What does that mean is, so as I told you, if you have process 1 and process 2, two different processes which are trying to execute some set of, or which are trying to access a resource, so which cannot be shared, in that case what we are going to use? We are going to use these variables called as flag and turn. So if this wants to execute, then flag will be set to 0, flag will be set to true here, and turn will be set to 0. Okay, so and here if this wants to execute, again here flag will be set to true and turn will be set to 1. So according to the process which wants to execute the critical section, based on that these values will be set. Once this is set, it indicates that it is ready to, this process is ready for critical section, or it is asking for critical section. Now if it is asking for critical section should be free, so that we can allocate critical section for this process. To check that, we'll be using this while loop, where we'll be checking with the other process. When process 1 is requesting, we'll check for process 2 whether it is running or not. When process 2 is requesting, we'll check for process 1. Okay, so this algorithm is very important, so hope you understand. So whatever I have written, these steps which are here right in this algorithm, so starting from this line, from this flag equals to 0 till this section, till flag is set to 0, till this section, which is very important. Hope you can understand this concept of Peterson solutions. Next we'll go for the next thing related to Peterson solution itself. As I told you, if first process 1 or flag 0 is set to 0 and turn is set to j is nothing but the index which is 0, so that p1 so that if p2 wants to enter into critical section, it can do so. Okay, so when it can do so only after it is completed. Okay, so that is what, if p1 and p2 want to execute the same time, in that case the value of first we're going to change the value of I, then we're going to change the value of j. So lastly, coming for the features of Peterson solution, it does not require any special hardware because it is a software based solution for critical section, and it is uses busy waiting, or it is also called as spine lock. Why? Because until and unless the process 1 has completed, process 2 cannot start, so which is nothing but, or which may lead to uh, waiting state, which is called as spine lock. So I'll stop this session here with this topic. In the next session we are going to discuss the next topic. Thank you.